Moutier send it back, Hassan Whiteside.
I just try to block everything.
When he's this ferocious and defensive-minded, his impact is staggering.
I see a lot of guys in the NBA getting triple-doubles with assists. Ain't nobody doing it with blocks. Nobody's doing it with blocks.
Ain't nobody doing it with blocks, and ain't nobody can say Whiteside wasn't rewarded for it. There's a lot of double negatives, but I think you guys know what I'm saying. Whiteside will be signing a contract worth roughly 100 times more than what he made the past season. A person familiar with the terms of the agreement tells the AP that Whiteside will be signing a 4-year contract worth the maximum amount that he could offer, roughly $98 million. What more can you tell us about how this all went down?
Well, look, Miami, Pat Riley said he's our top priority, and he showed it, you know, and there was a lot of talk about him perhaps going to Dallas. You know, he didn't give the Lakers a visit, unlike or like most guys in the league, it seems like. But I think it's a great move for him because if I were advising him, I would have advised him even to take a little bit less money if you had to stay in Miami. This is a guy who's had a troubled past. We all know he's a little bit immature. I think he needs that structure that Miami provides with Pat Riley, with the veterans on that team, Dwayne Wade, so on and so forth. Even guys like Alonzo Mourning who aren't playing anymore but are there with the team. I think in Miami he can become the best player he can be. Whereas if he had left and gotten in the wrong situation, I don't know that he would have been able to thrive. I think of a guy like a Lance Stevenson and people like that went elsewhere and it never worked out for him. So I'm happy for him because I think now he'll be the best player he can be.
It's an organization that believed in him and developed him, the coaching staff that made this happen. 100 times the amount of guaranteed money he had in his last contract.
100.
I mean, that's just like funny. And God bless America, but at least he was loyal and went back to the team that helped make it all happen.
Yeah, I think, like both of these gentlemen said, Miami was the best place for him as far as the structure, the discipline, the veteran leadership. It's not just guys like Dwayne Wade, but guys like Udonis Haslem, Alonzo Mourning around, and he needs that. He's still young in his NBA career, even though he's not necessarily that young in age. And so I think everyone wants to see him live up to this contract and hopefully earn another one that's even better.
Yeah, it's hard to say that Whiteside's worth this money because it's hard to wrap your head around these numbers. But AD, is this player deserving to be a featured player on the Heat?
You know, I think so. There's a huge upside. And, you know, like we were just talking about KD, when you look at guys like that who are, there's not many of them in the league. I think of Andre Drummond when I think of Whiteside, a guy with big body who's athletic, who, when he gets in the paint, you have to pay attention. There has to be a couple bodies there to stop him from rolling to the basket. The other thing is rebound the basketball. With those long arms, you not only have to put a body on him, you almost have to take 2 steps back and get him away from the action, because if it's anywhere close, he's grabbing that basketball. Then lastly, finishing above the rim. You know, a lot of times I saw Dwayne Wade look like a true Chris Paul or something like that, just because he kept his eye on him and just flicked the ball up anywhere, and big fella's gonna go get it. And then if I'm a shooter, I love it because, once again, everybody's sinking into the paint. I can click my heels, get my wrist ready, let that thing go, and knock down shots. So he brings more value than you see actually on paper in stats. He does a lot of different things that doesn't show up, but he's such a huge value. And, yeah, if Chris Bosh come back, this team is going to be crazy good.
And he came up. He really improved over the year.
He sure came up.
A lot. Well, he came up definitely. But a lot of the problems he had pre-All-Star break, post-All-Star break, they really got him in line. He got more into making the right defensive play as far as executing the scheme, and less about, I need to get another block. You know, you saw that clip where he says, "Who's getting it with blocks, baby, but me?" That was early in the season when he was chasing blocks, to why he started to figure out how to play the right way.
Yeah, and the team rewarded him for it. So the Heat got one big-name free agent down. Another big-name free agent, Dwayne Wade, tweeting this: "Big congrats to Hassan Whiteside. Your dedication and hard work to the game has finally paid off." And look at this hashtag. Can I borrow $5?
Just 5?
Just 5? Look, let's send it back over to Tom and Amin. What does Whiteside's max deal mean for D. Wade and the Heat's chances at KD?
Really interesting question. Pat Riley solved the first challenge, the one that was immediate, They had $41 million in room going into today, and they give Whiteside the full boat, that 22.2. And just to look at it another way, look at that. In his first 4 seasons, 3.2. In 12 games, he's going to make 3.2.
God bless America.
I love it. Okay, so come back to Dwayne Wade. So Dwayne Wade comes in here. We put $22 million in here. Last year he made what, 20?
20.
So he's sitting at 20. I mean, let's just for a second park him at 20 and just not even give him a raise. He's never been the highest paid player on the league. Now, Cass, you asked the question, what's that mean for the pursuit of Kevin Durant? Well, they don't have enough room, right? They got to get to 26.6, as we've talked about. So we just go down here and start the trade machine going where they send them all off. I think they could send Dragic somewhere. Do you?
I absolutely think Dragic has a market.
How about Josh McRoberts?
At $6 million, definitely has a market.
Okay, we're going to keep Wade. We're going to keep him, right?
I'm going to try and keep him, but, you know, if you can get Kevin Durant, I'm sorry, Justice Winslow.
Really? You'd give him
If
right.
Kevin Durant's on the table, then you have to make tough decisions.
I want to keep him, and I want to do the rest of this. I'm sure Pat Riley would love to keep him. Now we come back to Kevin Durant, and we say, okay, Kevin, we don't quite have room for you yet, so sorry, Dwayne. We're going to come renegotiate with you again like you've done every other year, and we got to tick you down. You got to take, like, what, $14 million. You think he'll do it for the cause?
Well, I'll say this, Tom. Ethan Skolnick of the Miami Herald reported that Hassan Whiteside is amenable to adjusting his number as well if it means that Kevin Durant's going to be a part of the Miami Heat.
Okay, so we might be able to squeeze
a couple
$4 or $5 million out of this, but the number one giver still in Miami is this guy, Dwayne Wade. He's given so much back, Cassidy, over the years. He initially gave the money to get the big 3 together. Then he gave again after LeBron left to keep things going, bring Luol Deng in. And they're asking him, I guess, to do it again. And might he go elsewhere? That's the big question for the next 48 hours.
They'll build a statue for you, Dwayne.
Yeah.
They'll build statues all around Biscayne Bay.
Yeah, that's great. So back to you.
Statues, money, I don't know. That's a hard decision right there. But look, hey, we talked earlier, Tom mentioned Dwight Howard's deal was quote unquote, small in comparison to what's going on. But look at the numbers side by side between Whiteside and Howard. Near identical numbers in terms of games played, points and rebounds per game, and field goal percentage. The only real difference is that Whiteside came off the bench for 30 games.